Hey there, welcome. Welcome to Rise and Receive. This is a reset point in your day where you get to stop whatever you're doing and take a moment, maybe 15 moments, to simply consider how to receive your fulfillment by unlearning struggle. So today we're going to talk about something that just really came through to me this morning. It's something I'm really inspired to unpack, and it has to do with forgiveness and what forgiveness or unforgiveness has to do with receiving your fulfillment. So if you don't know me, my name is Sonia Miller, and I show people the blind spots, hardworking, goal-oriented people, the blind spots that keep them from receiving their fulfillment, from receiving their long overdue rewards. And the way that I do this is I teach the skill set of receiving, because most people don't know how to receive, especially goal-oriented, hardworking, committed people. What this kind of person knows how to do is how to work hard, how to hunt, how to pursue, how to go after their goals. And this is great. That hard work skill set is really important when you're trying to accomplish tasks. But when it comes to receiving your fulfillment, receiving your dreams into your life, it can only take you so far. And so what happens is, because people know how to work hard, but they don't know the skill set of receiving, when they're not reaching their goals, when they're feeling stuck, what do? We work even harder. And that same hard work ethic that serves you really well for some things actually can sabotage you and block you from receiving what you most want. So I teach how to receive. It's tangible, it's concrete, it produces results, and it helps you connect with speed and surpassing. You can receive what you want way more easily when you know the skill set, and you can go beyond that upper limit, that glass ceiling. Excuse me. So today, I'm going to talk about some blind spots regarding forgiveness, unforgiveness, something that's going to really help you move things in your life. If there's something from the past that you're struggling with, if there's something that you've been trying to get over but you can't get over, if you know that you need to forgive, but you don't know how, this is going to be really helpful. And beyond that, you're going to see how this all connects to opening up the floodgates to receive your fulfillment. If you've been feeling stuck around any particular area of life, this could really shed some light into how to get some movement going there. So the first thing I want to do is talk about blind spots specifically. Now, receiving blind spots occur when you operate more as a human doing, which is the hunter model, the hard work ethic model, versus the human being. And our model for that is the majestic tree, who receives everything it needs and much of what it wants all day long, and it does nothing. It just stands there. It is the embodiment of beingness. You're a human being. It's the most natural thing in the world, but most of us don't have any idea how being a human being, which is the non-doing side of life, could ever be productive or useful or produce results. But I promise you, once you tap into this, it really does open the floodgates and take you beyond your inner glass ceiling. So let's first talk about receiving and illuminate some blind spots there. First of all, it's important to understand what receiving is and is not. If you're in doing mode, human doing mode, hunter mode, most people think of receiving as an achievement. You have a target on the horizon, you go get it, you're done. But if you look at it that way, you're really misunderstanding that there's much more going on with receiving. And so what happens is you can seek and hunt and conquer, and you can, enjoy and celebrate that for as long as you can enjoy it. And then what happens? You're back to seeking and hunting. So a lot of people who know how to be seekers and hunters, and I find that a lot of professionals and, just really motivated, hardworking people, they know how to do that. But what happens is that feeling of lasting fulfillment always eludes them, because once you get the thing, it passes and you're on to the next thing. So you're always returning to hunting mode. What receiving actually is a state of being. It's feeling based. It's what you experience in your body. It's what you feel. The majestic tree's equivalent is it receives the sun and the water and the air, and that moves through, it circulates through the space of its trunk, its roots, its beingness. And when you open up to that flow, that's when you experience fulfillment, because fulfillment is a feeling and receiving is the movement and the experience of things, feelings, experiences moving through you. So that's the first thing you need to illuminate, what receiving is and is not. When you open up to the flow of life, when you open up to the feelings of fulfillment that you want. So for example, you may be hunting money, but the feeling you want is abundance or power or peace. You may be hunting a relationship, but the feeling you want is love, connection, passion, so on and so on. Okay, so that's one blind spot that you really need to illuminate. The second thing that's required for receiving is space. If you don't have space, you cannot receive anything new. So I always like to use the bowl as a metaphor for that. A bowl that is full can receive nothing new. If you have a space, which is you and your life and your feelings, and there's stuff in there, it's filled up, you can't receive anything new or different. And it's just going to stay in there until the bowl is emptied. So space is a non-negotiable. Now, oftentimes what happens is the hunter has that space filled with problem solving. So the space of your mind, the space of your emotions, it's already full. And that has to rest and open up and allow more spaciousness so you can receive the next thing. So understanding what receiving is and is not, and space is necessary in order for movement to occur. Finally, what receiving requires is if you want to receive something in your physical world, you have to experience it in your physical body. That's because your consciousness creates your reality. When you are hunting something, you're way up in your head and your body is busy with activity. But if you want to receive something in your physical life, you must feel it and experience it in your physical body. That's where the movement and the receiving and the spaciousness comes in. So those are three important things to understand about receiving. Now, let's talk about forgiveness, and then we're going to connect the dots. So, what is forgiveness? What is unforgiveness? When you are feeling unforgiveness, it means the space of your mind and the space of your heart and the space of your being is filled with pain from the past. Pain from the past. And when we aren't able to experience forgiveness, then that stays in the space and we can't receive anything new. Now, when there's unforgiveness, it means that there's no movement. Now, here's the thing about forgiveness. Many people think that even if you know you need to forgive, it's something that you need to do. Back to the hunter model. I need to forgive somebody as if it's something that you actually have the power to shift. Now, you can make a mental choice to forgive, but what most people are looking for when they want to forgive somebody is the feeling of the pain in the past having passed on through. It's the feeling of peace. It's the feeling of release. It's the feeling of I can move on from here. So you can't make yourself feel differently. The best you can do sometimes is direct your attention in a new way. Okay? And ultimately, the thoughts that point you in a new direction allow the feelings to follow suit. Okay? So one of the definitions I love for forgiveness is aligned with that, which is if you take the word forgive, you turn it around and you look at it as an opportunity to give for. So what that means is, for this pain in the past that I have, I give for that, I exchange for that a new way of looking at things, a new perspective. You illuminate the blind spot. So instead of trying to forgive, which you can actually do, because this is where you do have power, is you can invite forgiveness. because there's nothing missing in your life. You already are all that you seek to be, do, and have. Forgiveness and the peace and the release of the pain of the past already lives within you. But just because it lives within you doesn't mean that you can feel it. This is true of everything. Joy lives within you. Just because it is true doesn't mean that you can feel it. Movement is required for you to feel the feelings that are fulfilling. So how do we get the flow gates moving around forgiveness? Well, I always like to tell a story about how powerful willingness is. Now, when you learn ALI, the 3-step receive method, we talk about awareness, let it be here, and invite more or better. You practice this and movement occurs. So the first thing is you become aware of unforgiveness. And I had an experience, this is where it really came alive for me, where somebody had hurt me very badly some years ago. And at first, my awareness was, I'm angry, I feel hurt, I feel betrayed, I feel abandoned, and I don't want to forgive. I just don't want to. So I became aware of that, and I let that be here. I'm going to let the anger be here. So we do a lot of allowing and letting things be here, because when you resist it, it gets stuck. Let it be here, breathe into it. We practice ALI, and then the space opens up. And once the space opened up, then I'm like, well, I'm not ready to forgive, but I'm willing to be ready to forgive. So I started the mantra of, I am willing to have the forgiveness that exists in my heart come alive for me. And that became my mantra. That became this new way that I was directing my awareness, instead of just telling the same story of all of the things that this person did that hurt me and how unfair it was, the thing that kept me stuck doing battle with it in the space of my mind and in the space of my heart. So my willingness mantra, my invitation was, I am willing to allow the forgiveness in my heart to come alive for me. Eventually, that did its thing. It moved on through. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm willing to have the forgiveness in my heart come alive for me. So that became my mantra for a while. That moved on through. And then one day I realized I had forgiven this person. I felt peace in my heart. So this is how you can start to experience movement, by allowing it to be here, by not filling up the space with more battle and more figuring out with your mind, but just really allowing it to move on through and to keep inviting more or better. Now, the next thing that we can do to give the pain in the past a new perspective, a new reality, which is right now and moving forward, okay, the way you can replace one with the other, exchange one with the other, is to start looking at, how can I reclaim my power from this situation? Part of what keeps unforgiveness stuck is that we often feel powerless. We've been victimized, and that's often our experience, because if we knew better, it would have been different. So it was something that was done to us that we weren't prepared for, that we were powerless over, that we didn't have any sense of power. Now, once you bring awareness into this situation, now that you've had this experience, you can look at, where do I have power around this situation today and moving forward? So I wanted to give a couple examples about where and how you can reclaim your power, so that you replace this experience of the pain and experience of the past with a new truth about where you do have power. So I have my notes here. So one way that you can open to the experience and the awareness of power today and moving forward is, you can claim the power to disagree. So this person that had hurt me, that I did experience forgiveness with, one of the things that let me move on was, you know what? I have forgiven him. I can feel it in my heart. And I don't agree with his choices. I don't agree. I claimed my power, and I could separate that. I don't have to agree with this. I can let go of the pain by inviting the forgiveness, but I claim my power. It's like, you know what? I don't agree with his choices, and I never will. That was me claiming my power. Another thing that you can do to reclaim your power is to claim your right to not participate in a situation like that if it ever happens again. So then I claim that. It's like, you know what? If anything that is near to this experience, now that I've learned, now that I'm aware of that, ever happens again, I choose to not participate. That's incredibly powerful because you cannot control life. Things can happen. That's part of being an adult. That's part of growing from our life experiences. But you can remain awake, aware, be the expanded tree. Your beingness, your presence, your wisdom is expanded. And you can say, you know what? If this ever happens again, I will choose not to participate. So I don't agree. That's my power. I choose not to participate. That's another one. And the final one is because part of being a fortunate receiver is receiving everything that life gives you unselectively as sacred, because we cannot control life. Our power comes in how we relate to life. That allows us to stop doing battle, that keeps the flow of life moving. So while there can be pain, pain may be inevitable, but suffering is optional. We suffer when we are locked in unforgiveness. So the third thing that you can do to claim your power is I claim support. I'm going to claim support. If this were ever to happen again, I would claim support in how to deal with this, and how to stay awake and aware, and how to do things differently so that I change my part in this experience now that I do know better than I did back then. Once you claim your power in the present and moving forward, and you've invited the forgiveness, you really can forgive for the past and the pain. You can give for it a new experience of openness, of receptivity, and of reclaiming your power. So how does this connect to receiving? It's all about keeping the space open. So what we do is we practice receiving all that life gives us, and forgiveness through invitation and through claiming your power from this day forward allows you to open up the space as the unforgiveness of the past falls away, and you truly can receive all kinds of fulfillment that life is always offering you, because now the space in which to receive is available. So I hope this is helpful, both in helping you move any unforgiveness, seeing it a new way, and really seeing how much it is connected to receiving your fulfillment. If you like this, please share. It helps me reach the people that I'm here to serve. And if you would like to get your own Receive card deck that's coming out in May 5th, and I'm going to show you today's. Okay, today's is Receive Forgiveness. This is what, let's see if I can get it. There we go. This is what inspired today's message. I'm going to give you this willingness mantra you can take into your day. I am willing to have the forgiveness that lives in me blossom within my heart. I am willing to have the forgiveness that lives in me blossom within my heart. You can't make yourself feel differently, but you can invite the forgiveness to come alive, the spaciousness that can receive movement and new possibilities. If you'd like to receive your own card deck, you can pre-order now and get as a gift from me the companion workbook. Once the cards are here, the gift goes away. You can purchase it separately, but that gift will be included. Just go to receiveCardDeck.com. And if you are inspired to learn how to become a fortunate receiver, how to discover the blind spots that are keeping you from receiving your long overdue rewards, just to put the hard work ethic down and open up to this new skill set, consider joining me at the Receive course. Go to receivecourse.com. There's all the information there you need. It's evergreen. You can join anytime. And there's lots of inspiring case studies and success stories about all of the fulfillment that people experience once they learn this powerful and simple skill set. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you at the next Rise and Receive. Bye, everybody.